You want me to put that on my todger?
This one's wife. Is it a professional parting or something else? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As you are aware, this one's wife and this one have not been spending much time together as of late. This has led to speculation that all is not well between the couple, something, of course, which has been raised in the past. One way of deflecting from that is to suggest that it's a professional uncoupling that has taken place. Is that accurate, or is it something more? Well, Kate Mansi writes in the Times as follows. In Sesotho, an official language of Lesotho, where Prince Harry's charity Sentebale is based, they use the term Letsima, which means we do better together. Much of the charity's ethos centres around the rallying cry that sustainable improvement can only truly come from collective action. The Duke of Sussex appears to agree wholeheartedly, although that same togetherness has not been seen by Harry and this one's wife in recent weeks. Following a period in which Harry always seemed to be by his wife's side, assertion of control, notably during trips to Colombia and Nigeria, facade management, the idyllic marriage, he is now striking out on his own. It is understood to be a conscious, commercial decision on the one hand and a practical decision on the other. Certainly, this reassessment of their brand, both as a couple and as an individual, comes at a crucial time for the Sussexes. After the success of Harry's autobiography, there will be lucrative offers coming in for this one's wife to release her own memoirs. The money might be tempting, particularly as their multi-project, multi-year contract with Netflix comes to an end next year. Naturally, as you know, money is a residual benefit to the narcissist. Yet, how best to proceed? The Duke is said to be prioritising his patronage work, while the Duchess pushes on with her entrepreneurial branded projects. It is also understood to be a plan for them both to go back to what they know, and perhaps more importantly, for what they were best known. The Duke will focus on reminding everyone of the happy-go-lucky Harry, the one everyone remembered before the anger and bitterness set in, i.e., in other words, before the spider came along and poured her poison into his ear. To do so, he has set out his stall on a one-man bestseller tour, replaying his greatest hits. After appearing at the United Nations General Assembly, he had various speaking engagements. Then he flew to Britain to attend the Well Child Awards, where he showed he can still make children laugh on public engagements. Harry then went to Africa to see the work being carried out by Sentebale, Lesotho and South Africa. When he arrived home, some were surprised to see that this one's wife too had her own engagements that did not include her husband tagging along as a +1. There is said to be a practical element to this public split in duties. One parent stays back at base looking after their children, Archie, 5, and Lilibet, 3, while the other goes solo. Or as Harry told charity workers in Africa, his wife was back in Montishitcha holding the fort. For his part, Harry is concentrating on building his brand as the happy, likeable prince who concentrates on charity work rather than hustling for deals. This, of course, is what he's used to doing. But might it be that he's actually doing this because separation looms? Might it be that he's listened to some advice that says, Harry, you need to rehabilitate your image in light of what is likely to happen. And that means making yourself likeable again. The opinion polls have regularly demonstrated that many people think of you as an entitled brat and something of a twat. You need to do something about that. Might it be that he's for once listened to advice which says, it's your wife that's the problem. Be seen less with her. You can call it a professional uncoupling. But by being seen less with her and focusing on the things that matter to you, charities and patronages, you stand a greater chance of being rehabilitated in the eyes of the public. This one's wife, of course, isn't interested in service. She'll turn up at a charity event, surely purely because she can be photographed. She'll talk to children to make it seem like she cares, but she can't give a rat's ass about them. What matters to her is being photographed, is being seen at celebrity events, believing that she's an A-lister, and of course laying her hands on money. Charity and patronages don't lead to the route that she wants. And as a somatic narcissist, her narcissism guides her towards the things that matter to the narcissism, which means that ultimately a life of service was never going to be something that she would want or address. She still believes, driven by her narcissism, that she'll succeed in the world of celebrity. This, of course, seems unlikely, but nevertheless, there's a focus on rebuilding her carefree girl next door image, or failing that, the cheerful, desirable work colleague she played in the television drama Suits. I can safely say those ships have long sailed. Her overexposure, and notwithstanding the fact that she still has a rump of supporters, the vast majority of individuals either don't care about her or dislike her, and she's not going to ever be able to turn that around. The reason being, her behaviour has been so toxic that it has formed entrenched views, and she won't go away for long enough. If, some time ago, she had retreated from public view, seeking the privacy that she claimed that she wanted, and didn't add to her growing list of misbehaviours, she might, just might, have turned it around with people. But she never did that. She's shown herself to be a liar, a reviser of history, a hypocrite, a toxic, unpleasant individual. And indeed, the more that she has continued to try and grasp Celebrityville, the more that she has attempted to portray herself as an A-lister, the more that she has grifted, the more that she has annoyed people and added to the evidence. And thus any attempt at rehabilitation simply isn't going to work. Before her big break, playing a paralegal called Rachel Zane, the article continues, the former actress once earned a living as a briefcase model in the American version of the game show Deal or No Deal. This one's wife was seen on television in a red skin-tight dress and high heels, along with a coterie of women who would open their boxes, finale, for the contestants to reveal the amount inside. That episode in her career might not be the one she wishes to dwell on, particularly after telling listeners of the Archetypes podcast that she was grateful for the work to pay the bills. She didn't like the way it made her feel objectified. Last weekend, this one's wife was back out on her own in a similar shade of red and back on her own terms at the biennial Children's Hospital Los Angeles gala. She wore a tailored, slimmed-down version of a Carolina Herrera dress she had worn previously to an event with Harry. A post on the couple's Sussex.com website said, invited as a special guest by CHLA's president and CEO, Paul Viviano, the Duchess was proud to stand alongside esteemed guests in support of this vital cause. It then continued to massage her facade, as I've explained previously. It talks about the meaningfulness of acting together to make a difference in the lives of children and their families. But as Kate Mansi writes, together may be, but not together with Harry. The Duke is busy reconnecting with his long-standing patronages, and the Duchess too is reaching out to former colleagues, i.e. hoovering them. Patrick J. Adams, who played this one's wife's love interest in Suits, said that she'd recently been in touch to offer help as he launched a new podcast about the show. It just shows her level of desperation. Adams said that while they were not really in touch, this one's wife sent him a message when she heard that she was releasing a podcast. Thus what's happened there is Adams' release of a podcast. It causes him to come up on her radar. Her narcissism subconsciously asks, is this non-intimate secondary source under control, yes or no? We have no information as to whether he's under control. We'd better get him under control. Can we do so directly? Yes, let's attempt to hoover. So she did. It isn't that she cares about the podcast or cares about her friendship with Patrick Adams. All she cared about was control and fuel, although she doesn't realise that. He said, upon hearing about the podcast, I got a lovely text saying how excited she was for us and asking how she could help in any way. Understand, that's a hoover from a narcissist. It's done in a benign way to seem like she's interested and she cares, but it's entirely self-serving. The Duchess has finished filming her new show for Netflix, although it is not yet known when it will be broadcast. Meanwhile, plans for her new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, continue. Yeah, right. Yet the project is so secret, it is understood that only a select number of staff in the Sussex office are permitted to know what it entails. In other words, fuck all's happening. The article then talks about the promotional video and the jam scam. It talks about Harry producing a programme about polo. Ingrid Seward, editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine, said, "This one's wife seems to rule the roost and Harry's completely obsessed with her, so she may be driving them to appear separately and to push Harry forward to a high-profile philanthropic route." Do you think that's accurate? Do you think she, as a controlling narcissist, is the one that is engaging in this professional conscious uncoupling to drive Harry towards a philanthropic route? Or do you think it's actually Harry who's thinking, do you know what? This isn't half fun, being away from my handler. I could have more of this. Do you think that this is indicative of something which is more fundamental? That there really is a split between the two of them, and at the moment it's being dressed as a professional split? Do you think she still manages to control Harry, or is he now fighting against it? Is an article such as this simply an attempt to make it look like it's a professional decision, when in actual fact there's something else going on? Certainly, as a narcissist, she needs to control Harry. And if he's trying to break free from her, that's a massive problem for her, because an escape will massively wound her, and, in the circumstances, may well then cause her to redouble her efforts to seek a replacement if her narcissism senses that Harry is starting to break the chains that have bound him. What do you think? Do you think this is simply a professional uncoupling that has taken place, and he's as ensnared as he always was? Do you think instead they're just trying to dress up a bigger problem by calling it a professional uncoupling when it's anything but? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.